All right, so your assignment for this week is to submit the left-hand chords for the Star Spangled Banner. I trust that you guys can play through the melody by itself. You should know it in your ear already, and it's not very difficult to learn. What is a little bit more difficult are the left-hand chords. So today, what I want to go through is playing through them again, reminding you of what notes should be in each chord. And then from there, I'm going to talk about putting it hands together. A lot of this will just kind of be practicing transitions between chords that are a little bit more difficult, and really focusing on the areas where you're moving a lot more than anything. So first, let's do a really nice warm-up. Take a look at the chords that you have in the first couple of measures. Remember, we start with our root position A, and then just for a little bit, kind of fiddle around the other chords, F sharp minor, C sharp 7, F minor. For the sake of this, I'm not going to tell you what inversions to play. That's in a previous video, and also something that at this point you guys can figure out on your own. What I am going to do is call out the notes that should be in each chord from beginning to end. So, we're going to start with our A major chord. So, A, C sharp, and E. Oh, and before we actually start, I do want to say, if you get to a chord and you're playing it wrong, like you don't have all the notes that you need, or you're playing something wrong, I want you to pause the video and then write in the notes that you need. I'm not picky about the inversions. This is basically a free-for-all. I'm literally telling you what chords you're supposed to be playing, what notes you should have in them. So, with that being said, let's go back, try it one more time from the beginning. A major, so A, C sharp, and E. And then F sharp minor, A, C sharp, F sharp, in any order. Now C sharp 7, oops, I'm actually going to play that. So we need some combination of C sharp, E sharp, or F, G sharp, and B. Make sure that you do have the C sharp chord in there, because otherwise, or the C sharp rather, otherwise it's a little bit hard to tell what chord this actually is. And make sure that you have E sharp, F sharp minor again. Now B7, I'm going to play probably, let's see, you can play at like a root position, B, D sharp, F sharp, and A. What I've been doing is something I move up, I get B, A, and D sharp. And then E major, E, G sharp, and E. Okay, back to A, B, A, and then we hold A for a little bit, F sharp again, F sharp minor, made that C sharp in there, and then I'm going to move up B7, E, A, E, A, and then we hold A, we kind of go back and forth to A to E and do the same pattern all the way up until we get to measure 25. So I'm going to back up to measure 21 and start from there. A, E, F sharp, B7, E. Now we need A with C sharp at the bottom. So C sharp, E, and A, D major, D, F sharp, and A. Then I've crossed out B minor. I want you to go ahead and do just D, F sharp, and B. So it's still B minor, it's just in that second inversion right there. That's going to be easier. If you want to do B minor and then up to here, you can, but I'm just trying to save you a little bit of extra time. So then from that chord to A with E in the bass, E, A, C sharp, then down to E major. Now, measure 29, so blocked out on my part. A with C sharp in the bass, E, A with E in the bass. Now, A, back to A with E in the bass, and then an E7, so I'm just going to play all notes because I can. Another thing that you could do when you're doing that, when you have A, go back to A with E in the bass, jump up, do G sharp, D, and E. Then you're right there for that root position A chord. Okay? All right. If there is a section where you realize you have wrong notes or you're not moving to the right chord, anything like that, do not put it hands together just yet. This week's assignment is a good way for me to really check on that, but I want you to focus on getting those chords exactly right. Otherwise, the melody is going to sound weird. So we'll check in with that. If you're feeling really confident about the chords, we're going to go ahead and go incredibly slowly. I'm not going to call out anything and put hands together. And then I'll talk about a few tips on how to put this hands together. So, but let's give it a try first. Make sure that you are in the right position, and we'll take off. We'll go about 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And whatever you put in the base if you want to add something. Good, that might be a little bit quick for you, but what that's going to do is draw out your weak points. So particularly, as I saw last year, and just from looking at it, measure 25 to the end is normally a little bit more difficult. So you're going to have to probably slow it down. I did a little bit there, but you might have to slow it down even more, especially when you get to measure 29 and you have that going on. So what I would do for whenever you have a bunch of chords that you have to move through, first try practicing it this way. So measure 25, our bottom note's supposed to be C sharp. Just play the bottom note of every chord. So let's start at measure 25 and try that. I'm running out of time and we'll tackle it a little bit more later, but C sharp. Next measure bottom note will be D. And if we keep D minor with D in the bass, we'll be on D again. E for both A and the E chords. All right, so measure 29, C sharp, E, E again, A, and your pinky, E, and then I'm just going to keep it on E, and then wherever you want to go for the A. So that can simplify it down. You don't have to worry about missing all of the wrong notes. So I would just practice going through and hitting the bottom note with your pinky, so then you know that you're moving to the right chord. It's just a matter of then adding the notes. So then what you could do next is then play it in a broken fashion. That gives your brain time to think, oh, what comes next? Oh, I need a B minor chord. I've got my D. I need my F sharp and my B. If you have trouble remembering that, write it on the paper, okay? And then same thing, so on and so forth. You could even roll it out more if that helps. Yeah, so I would just kind of take it from the pinky and then work your way up to that. If all else fails, just very slow motion, lots of hands separate. This is not something that practicing just a bunch of hands together is actually probably going to progress. It will, but not as quickly as if you do those smaller things. So, all right, with that being said, I will also post the other videos that I've made on this covering the first 4 lines and then the second 4 lines as well. That way you can go back to the basics if you need to. But I am looking forward to seeing just the left-hand chords on Friday. So happy practicing.